Well, it's not quite the final clip of the game, but we're certainly pretty damn close to that at this point. Now, finally time to get to the crater and open things up. We have absolutely all of the keys, and there is no reason not to charge ahead at this point. For some reason, I was always convinced that we needed to scan each relic point in order for the door to open here. My mistake. I could have saved myself some more time by just not coming back here over and over again until we were done. Speaking of time, seems Ridley's finally decided to come out and play with us. While I severely doubt this fight is going to compare well against the 3DS game's Ridley fight, it should still feel like something special here. Son of a bitch, trying to lock the way forward for us after all the effort we went through just to get the damn thing open. That is just downright spiteful. Little absurd that we have to get damn close to scan something that apparently flies at a pretty fast pace, but then it's not like he's zipping around all the time. I don't think evolved is the right word to use when you put someone back together only with metal parts this time. Okay, the missiles and bombs are certainly new. Well, considering Samus doesn't have any melee attacks in this game, I don't see why we would even consider getting that damn close to the bastard if we could avoid it. Okay, so the plasma beam just plain isn't meant for long-distance fighting. Doesn't seem to be doing any notable amount of extra damage in comparison to the power beam either. I guess that's what I get for thinking that the power beam had become incredibly obsolete at this point. It's still got a niche or two to fill, but unfortunately none of those niches involve being able to take down a high-speed bomber. Considering this is happening in the open sky, I can't help wishing there was a way to get Samus's ship to start shooting the bastard. But then, I don't think we've ever seen Samus's ship ever go into combat. It's just a fancy ride to bring Samus to the danger zone, and something that was destroyed at least twice in the series so far. Though I suppose the second time didn't really happen to Samus yet, since we've gone back in the timeline to before Metroid 2 for the Prime games. I probably shouldn't keep shooting so rapidly all the time, since when he's moving, we keep missing. It's not like this game gives us the ability to lead the target in any way. We just need to wait for him to stop moving if we want a chance to start hurting him. A very small amount of healing there, but I'll take what I can get when we're fighting against a damage sponge. Granted, we're a damage sponge as well, but Samus and Ridley are generally treated as equals in terms of combat ability. Or at least that was always my interpretation based on the rather basic storytelling in the series so far. don't really see much of a difference between when he lands with a shockwave and when he doesn't. And dear God, the rate I'm bringing his health down is really not encouraging. This is definitely going to take most of the clip, that's for sure. Really wish I had some kind of counter for his bombing runs other than just don't be beneath him as he flies by. Something to shoot to interrupt the attack. Hell, for all I know, missiles would work for that, but it's not like I've been shooting missiles at the bastard so far. I also haven't tried the wave beam, even though that also has a tracking ability. Wonder why I'm typically so reluctant to use those two tools in battle outside of when it's explicitly the enemy's weakness. But I suppose so far we're doing pretty well without them, wearing them down while keeping most of our health. Hell, I think we'd be doing pretty well even without the occasional odd bit of health we're finding at this point. Okay, wasn't expecting a delayed explosion after that laser blast to the ground. Last time I checked, stone wasn't an explosive material, but then that's not the strangest thing we've seen in this game, much less the series. I'd ask why his missiles don't seem to have a lock-on, but considering my iffy dodging ability in this game, I probably shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. Definitely feels like we've pissed him off with the sheer number of explosives he was sending our way. And those explosives are starting to pile on the damage a lot faster than his earlier attacks. Oh, now I start using the wave beam on the very evasive target. And apparently he just flies outside of the range of the gun until he's moving too fast for it to track as he swoops us. Oh, come on. How are we supposed to dodge that drop? And why is it that sometimes he drops without that shockwave and other times he does? Is it just a simple matter of how close we are? No, we looked far enough away from this perspective that I see no reason why we got damaged by that. Again, I think I preferred the action sequences in third person than first in this series. Okay, not even sure that he was trying to attack us there. That was just a landing and a roar for the sake of seeming menacing when we're far past that point in the fight. Or at least I'd hope we are after I managed to take down over half of his health. At this point, I have to wonder why he even bothers to touch the ground, since that's what gives us the most time to blast into his chest. For fuck's sake! I knew this fight would be tough, but I didn't think it would be a downright grind. Which is odd considering how many of the other boss fights in this game have been damage sponges against a damage sponge. Again, fights in 2D just look a lot more visually interesting to me than 3D, if only because the first-person perspective doesn't quite give me the same cinematic feel as a third-person one. I just cannot see the enemy's attacks well enough to know if I'm going to dodge an attack or not until we've already taken the hit. It's not all that much of an issue, really, in standard fights, but we're fighting the most mobile boss in the game right now. Again, we're doing reasonably well, but still, I feel like I need to call out that little issue. Finally done the rather memorable bit of this fight. I honestly remember this happening at the halfway point, not when he's got about a quarter of his health remaining. I mean, sure, it's not the prettiest looking fire effect I've ever seen, but it's just so visceral that at a critical stage in a rather drag-out brawl, we burn the very wings off the flying monster, especially since flying away was the most repeated thing he did through the fight before this point. Probably says something that I'm getting far more injured in a hurry when he's wingless than when he could comfortably hit and run. Probably the fact that we need to do a little extra damage just to get at his chest now. Apparently, there's only a few specific frames where we're allowed to hurt his head, which will eventually get his chest exposed again, as if he wasn't already an annoyingly durable foe. Just how many more times are we gonna have to stun him before we're done with this fight? I call bullshit on that tail swing hurting us like that. And why is it that sometimes we can hurt him absolutely every time he opens his mouth, and sometimes we can't, even as I see our shots going right into his tongue? Ugh. Little hard to know when to dodge when it's hard to know when we've got the opportunity to keep wearing him down. Right, Too much to hope that there'd be an extra lore entry for this stage of the fight. I am just getting worn down to a fine pace despite the fact that his health implies we're almost done here. Bloody hell! We're certainly feeling the tension at this stage of the fight, that's for sure. Wait, why the hell is it that we didn't do any damage at all when he was stunned that time? That is just outright frustrating bullshit. Why the hell is it we're not causing any actual damage right now? I see no reason why our attacks should stop doing damage to him when we're still hitting the same critical spot on his chest. Just fucking take damage again, you bastard. You should be done by now. Oh, so the chest is only weak to missiles now for some odd reason. And now we've got a rather odd bit of us stunning him with a single shot, followed by shooting him a few more times in the chest. Don't get me wrong, this is without a doubt one of the best fights in the game. Very worthy of the status that Ridley has in the series as a whole, but it is not a flawless experience. And I'm pretty sure that this might be one of the reasons they didn't include him in Metroid Prime 2. They wanted future battles against Ridley to feel special, not like a rehash of the first Metroid Prime, and they just couldn't think of how to significantly improve on the experience in the immediate sequel to this game. But then, I probably shouldn't be talking about the immediate sequel when we're still going through this one. He looks a lot more worn down than we are, but he's certainly getting us damn close to death for a one-on-one fight that we started with absolutely full health. Just how many times have we lost our lock-on to him in this clip, anyway? Oh, for God's sakes, just let this fight end! You're making it so close that the actual final boss is gonna have a hell of a time topping this! Son of a bitch! Down to our last energy tank! And we beat him when he was just one strike away from victory. Bloody hell, I suppose that's what I get for getting so damn cocky this far into the game. Come on, Samus deserved to get the final blow in there, not the temple. Hell, if the temple itself could shoot at him, why didn't it do so earlier in the fight? After all, he did start the fight off by destroying quite a bit of the stone structures here. And I distinctly remember a lore entry saying that Chozo had some form of vengeance for messing with their artifacts, so roughly, we have just taken far too much abuse for me to feel comfortable heading forward immediately. Sorry about that. Still, the end is damn near at this point.